Hi there everyone, so we have a card of the day which is the reverse Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is this figure of someone waking up in her bed in the middle of the night, nine swords above her head in her hands, obviously in some type of distress, obviously waking up from some type of nightmare. This is a card which really talks about our shadow and calls for us to have a look at our shadow. When this card is reversed, there's a little bit of a denial that there may be shadow things to look at, or there may be some sabotage moments where we're distracting ourselves in order to avoid looking at the more darker stuff that might be taking place below the surface of our consciousness. In our dreams, we see the subconscious arise, and it is often what we dream about is often things that have taken place during the day in a conscious way that haven't yet been resolved in a complete way, and often stuff that we suppress on a subconscious level that needs to come out and touch the consciousness in some way or another, so we end up dreaming about it. When there is a little bit of rejection and denial, there could be some heavy emotions that we're not willing to face. There could be some traumas that are difficult for us to see or difficult for us to own up to, and there might be a denial here because the shame is too great, the guilt is too great, the fear is too strong, the sadness is too heavy. And this is something to respect on some level, but this repression on a long-term level will definitely lead to a form of depression, a form of exaggerated manifestation. It's a form of self-deceit when we repress something or when we push something down for too long. I mean, holding something down or ignoring something for a while can be just a coping mechanism that might be, very valid. But holding things in and avoiding looking at them for a long period of time is a form of denial, which is self-deceit, and it will attract all sorts of negative things in our lives, and usually will attract a kick up the arse in some way or another in life when we are denying what really wants and needs to be looked at on some other level, on some deeper inner level. So maybe, and I can see maybe it's time for me to get the journal out and time for me to dive a little bit deeper into more darker stories without fear, without pretending, without self-judgment. There's a lot of self-judgment in this card, which is probably why it's very difficult to go inside and have a look and own some stuff, and it's easier to deny it and ignore things and just stay on the surface and avoid going a little bit deeper into what might be painful to see and hear and feel more than anything else. But this is an important experience, diving into our shadow. It's part of our work as light workers, if we want to call ourselves that. And it's not something to ignore, but something definitely to choose to dive into in the moments in our life when we're feeling that it resonates and we're feeling that there is something important to gain from it. It's not something to do every day. It's not something to be dissecting our life all the time. Life is very much about joy. It's not just about focusing on the darkness, but every now and then the darkness needs to be focused on. Sometimes this card comes up upside down because we've been in a dark period. We've been wallowing and in our nightmare and in our shadow for a long time, and it's time now that we can see the resolution, and we can see a solution to our depression, to our sadness. We can see how and why we can come out of a more shadow period of our life, and this is a valid way of looking at this reversal as well. So I hope this has helped you in some way. Send you all the love that you might need. Not that it needs to come from me, but I'll channel it from the divine through to you in the darker days of your life as well as the lighter ones. All the best.